Hey guys, how doing? Shaw here. I'm a few minutes behind the live stream. I had to go training myself, so this fight's already started. But I don't know what's happening so far. So I just thought it'd be cool to watch it together. Fabricio Andrade versus John Lineker. It's a rematch. I did a video before this one to see what I thought was going to happen. I think Fabricio is going to be too strong for him standing up. I don't think that John Lineker is going to be able to make the necessary adjustments to deal with him. Fabricio did well defending the wrestling as well, which I think would have been John's the key to victory. And I think he's got to go through a lot of fire to be able to get Fabricio down and try and control him. But we'll see. I just uploaded the Tawan Chai fight too, if you guys want to check out that. Okay, let's go. I'll just turn this down. Yeah, as I'm a few minutes behind, I can just forward this a little bit, and then if I see anything exciting, I'll be able to rewind it too. He's a little meatball, isn't he? John Lineker. He fought some top guys in his day. You know, TJ Dillashaw, but you know, among the names that he's fought before. Come on, let's go. Oh, there's John Boy and Jesus in Fabricio's corner. John Boy is the coach for Peter Yan and Anatole. You know, he works with a lot of the top UFC guys that are in UFC and ONE FC guys that are at Tiger in Phuket. Not just at Tiger, actually, he works with guys just around Phuket. He's got who else has he got going? He's got Brendan Lowmain, I think, Logain. I can't think I'd say his name now, but the PFL champion recently does a lot of work with John Boy as well. Jesus trains at Phuket Fight Club. They've got a strong team down there. Obviously, but he's a Brazilian guy too, so you know him and Fabricio are friends. There's a good at Phuket Fight Club. They've got a good roster of mostly Brazilian fighters. They've had a lot of guys on One Championship recently, but Fabricio trains at Tiger, I think, unless he's moved. I'm pretty sure he's still at Tiger. Yeah, I mean, Tiger, you know, they've had some top guys coming through there. They've put out a lot of good quality fighters in their time. Phuket really is like a bit of a mecca to come training. You know, if you want, yeah, is it okay? So is it Tiger? Yeah, if you're serious about your training, Phuket's a great place to come. There's so many good gyms here: Tiger, Phuket Fight Club, Bang Tao, Dragon Muay Thai. Yeah, there's something for everybody there, and you know, it's easy to get starstruck by the guys that are here. You know, you'll see Rafael Fiziev, Peter Yan, Mabek Tasumov. You'll see Fabricio. You'll see all these guys walking around, and you know they're all super nice, super friendly. It's a solid record: 35 wins, 9 losses. It's solid in MMA. Very experienced. I think Fabricio's probably had more fights altogether if you include his kickboxing. You know, he did a lot of time fighting in China, and you know, I think he's pretty solid on the ground. I think he's purple belt maybe in BJJ, but mostly a striker. And yeah, that's all I'll say about them. Yeah, for Fabricio, unfortunately, lost the first fight because that was it. Oh, it was a ruled a no contest, I believe, because Fabricio caught him low with a knee, and John Lineker couldn't continue. There you go, Fabricio throwing that knee again. Did a lot of damage to John Lineker with those knees. Fabricio looks very sharp. That was well timed by John Lineker. You know, he's really got to expect that Fabricio's going to be throwing a lot of these knees and low kicks. Fabricio's kicks are very sharp. You just didn't really see much of them. Nice by John there. Yeah, John's very strong. You know, his wrestling's good. If you're a John fan, you'd have to hope that he'd gone and been working on his wrestling, because that's got to be his key to success against Fabricio. He had very little success at like standing up with him. I would think that being in a ring would favour Fabricio, just because he's probably spent more time in a ring than he has done in a cage. John, you know, is mostly fought in a cage, so yeah, I think that, you know, it'll probably help Fabricio out being in the ring a little bit. But Fabricio's not really a guy that takes control of the ring anyway. It's not really his style to try and bully forward. Even though he can do that. You know, it's not something like some guys just rely on being able to push the other guy backwards. Fabricio's quite versatile. He can go forwards and backwards, mix it up well. Fabricio throwing that left kick to the arm of John Lineker, you know, it'll just make John keep his hands up a little bit. If his hands start to come down, it'll be easy for him to shoot for a takedown, rather than having his hands up here. If Fabricio keeps peppering away at his arm, it'll bring his arm up here, make sure that he has to keep it high. Johnny's actually having some success, like when they're breaking out of the clinches and stuff with his boxing. You know, we caught Fabricio a bit earlier in the corner a little bit. Fabricio's just experienced enough to be able to weather the storm and not panic too much, which should be easy, because I'm sure that John can hit hard, especially when he throws big looping shots like that. He doesn't really have a straight punch in him. Everything that you'll see is almost a hook or, you know, overhand. I haven't really seen him throw too many uppercuts. He's doing the wrong thing now, though, by standing in front of Fabricio. John needs to be able to keep Fabricio guessing, waiting for him to come close and then start windmilling like he is with those punches. It's a bad idea. Fabricio will beat you to those shots every time, because he's so good at going straight, and that knee coming through the middle so fast and so long. You know, one of those knees is pretty much as long as one of John's hooks. If John stands in front of him, he's going to be in big trouble. Fabricio doing well moving around the outside, but he has been caught by John. It's easy for a punch to look like it's landed a lot harder than it has, or it's had more of an effect that it has when you are being light on your feet like that. Particularly when Fabricio's bringing his feet together like this. If he gets caught with his feet together like that, it'll make him wobble, and it'll look like he's more hurt than he really is. So he needs to watch out for that. You know, and it would be easy to get knocked down, but more easy to get knocked down than if his feet were, if he was going wide to, like, wider first, rather than going together then wider. I will do a video about footwork one of the days. I mean, John really, you know, he could really be setting up some things with low kicks here. Fabricio's standing quite narrow. Yeah, you know, he could at least try and slow Fabricio's legs down a little bit, but man, he's getting tagged a lot here. Whoa, jab caught him. Nice. Yeah, I mean, he's in big trouble. Wow. I imagine that felt like a very long 5 minutes for John. I mean, John did have his moments. You know, he did land a few punches on Fabricio. He had a little bit of wrestling success, but I think that the way that he was wrestling him, like he tried to, you know, like almost suplex him or whatever, it was probably a little bit too high energy. You see, this is the thing with when you're an experienced striker. Like, so, I'm just going to put this back for a second. But you'll see Fabricio gets caught a little bit, but doesn't panic. So, look, he got caught there. Now, most people would start to panic and try and rush out of the corner, but they'd end up getting tagged. See, he got hurt there. But what he's able to do is just tighten up, grab hold and then knee. And then gets himself back out of the corner. That's something that you'll learn with experience. You know, John also there, you know, he got hurt with a jab. You know, it would have been easy for him to start panic wrestling, you know, but he didn't, so good for him. It's actually quite hard for me to commentate and try and keep a score at the same time. Ooh. I'm just going to put that back for a second just to see what that was. Yeah, I mean, let me just have a look one more time. I'm sorry. Right, so... Yeah, I mean, Fabricio very, very close to this knee. I think, to be honest, I think it was more that Lineker came in at the same time and Fabricio didn't have the range on the knee that he thought he had. And I think he just knocked him off balance more than it was the shot. I mean, Fabricio's not showing any signs of being rocked or anything, so... Even though I know Fabricio, like, I'm trying to be as unbiased as I can be. I know how good Fabricio is. Yeah, I mean, Fabricio can pretty confidently, like, have his hands a bit lower against John. Like, everything that John throws is having to come up, right? So, like, you know, it's easy to get a read from him. I mean, he's still got to be careful because John looks like he has power. I'm not sure how many knockouts he has, but he's a little meatball. You know, he's going to have power in him. Fabricio doing well defending the wrestling here. That was good work by John. He really needs to, like, you know, try and do as much damage as he can here. I mean, Fabricio's pretty much back to his feet now into a clinch. Yeah, I mean, those are going to be John's chances where he can do as much damage as he can. I think a good thing for him to try and do would be to try and cut Fabricio. Like, in those situations. So instead of trying to hit him flush, just try and brush his glove against his face a little bit. You know, it's a dirty tactic, but why not? You know, John, you know, he's been around for a long time. You know, I'm sure that he's got a lot of scar tissue above his eyes. So just Fabricio just touching him with these jabs with MMA gloves on will start to open him up. You know, you can see some redness around John's face. I'm not sure if he's cut. Oh, he is cut. Yeah. Yeah. So Fabricio doesn't need to load up on these shots too much. He just needs to keep peppering away. It's going to put John off, you know, doing anything really. Fabricio needs to start dealing with his low kicks a little bit more. You know, the thing is with low kicks, once like one or two land, sometimes you can just feel like it, you know, oh, if one more gets me, it's over. And then when you have the threat of resting as well, you need to be careful. Well, a good strong block would put him off kicking you like that, though. Yeah, like people forget that, like, yeah, it hurts, like, to block a kick, but it also hurts to kick a block. You know, it's not nice for either person. Like, you know, a shin bone bouncing off a shin bone hurts. It's been a busy round for John. Nice. Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more work from Fabricio. But, you know, it's the second round, second of 5 rounds, 5 minute rounds. I'm sure that, like, he's, you know, doing some things tactically to, you know, for endurance wise. Yeah, I mean, the it seemed like they both sort of just almost started to switch off towards the end of the round there. Fabricio, I think, could be applying more pressure than he is. Um, but yeah, I imagine that he's aware that he's got 3 more rounds left to get the job done. John Lineker definitely not looking fresh. These little shots that have been landing on him, like from Fabricio, just even though that, you know, it just seems to be like a light jab or something, it's adding up. You know, like I said, he's got these MMA gloves on. You know, they take effect. But these are the moments where John Lineker really needs to be trying to get the better of Fabricio. Um, Yeah, he needs more of those, John, because he's not having any luck really standing up with Fabricio. I think if you're in John's corner, you'd need to tell him, like, look, let's keep working that leg. The knockout punches can come, but once everything else is compromised. At the moment, he's looking for these big shots, and they're not going to happen. Fabricio's way too experienced in stand up, and, you know, too skilled. You know, John seems to be very one-dimensional standing up. Um, Definitely needs to keep working that leg of Fabricio, because there are times when Fabricio's a little bit heavy on it. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like John's been training these low kicks too much in the gym, to be honest. I mean, I just saw that one. If it had been drilling low kicks a lot, then a low kick wouldn't be that much effort to throw in a fight. It should be like a second nature thing. That's a nice shot by John, and that punch just out of the break, that worked well. Oh, that knee got him. These knees hurt. Especially from a much taller guy. You know, they can almost knee underneath your rib cage. Like, it's, you know, and it stabs into your body. It's very painful, and it takes energy away. Yeah, I mean, John's just landing on Fabricio's arms, really, throwing these shots. Honestly, to me, at the moment, it looks like Fabricio could get him out there if he wanted to. He only needs to put a few combinations together, and I think John would be finished. But Fabricio needs to keep the variation going too. You know, he needs to be still working the leg as he throws a low kick. He still needs to be doing that, and of course going for the body as well with his knees. But I think, you know, one or two combinations from Fabricio could finish John. He's just not putting it together right now. I mean, I can understand it. You know, he's got what 12 minutes left of fighting. I think this is Fabricio's second 5-round MMA fight, and of course that the last fight didn't go the distance. So, you know, even though Fabricio is very fit, I imagine that you know it would be something that would be in the back of your mind. 25 minutes is a long time to be fighting. Man, that knee's so good by Fabricio. I think Fabricio just got caught off balance there. Was it? Yeah. See, he just threw a shot. It was nothing. He was just off balance. Yeah, I mean, John needs to really keep these hands tighter to his face. He keeps trying to reach out and try and take control of Fabricio's left hand, but he's much too short to do that. I mean, he's carrying a lot of muscle for his size too, so it's almost like he struggles to get his hands to meet in the middle. Wow. Nice head movement by Fabricio. So I think this is where, you know, Fabricio's getting his best work done, when he's making John miss. You know, he's making John miss and then punishing him for it. That was very... Yeah, I mean, John's going to have to be careful. You know, he's showing the sign that hurts. Yeah. Then the wrestling comes, you know. Yeah. You know, John's going to have to wrestle now. He's going to have to try. I know it's high energy, but... Oh, that was a nice bit of sportsmanship. Fabricio helping him back up. Yeah, John surely knows that he's down now. I would think, I mean, like I said, it's difficult for me to commentate and judge at the same time. I heard Joe Rogan say that the other day, and I'm glad that he said it, because that was what I felt. But, yeah, I'd say that you probably got two rounds to Fabricio, 1 round to John here, at a push. I think you could give all rounds to Fabricio, really, but I think, you know, you'd probably give the second round to John, maybe. Also, you know, just a difficult one to say, really. Like I said, it's difficult for me to judge and commentate at the same time. To judge actually takes a lot of concentration, and of course this is live for me, so yeah. Don't really know what's going to happen. Yeah. Whoa. I'll just go back and check that. So what you can see here is Fabricio just getting a little bit clumsy with his feet. He's letting his back foot drift across his front leg a little bit. See there? So when John throws, like if Fabricio's in this position, if John throws an overhand right or a right hook or whatever, it's going to kind of knock Fabricio off balance. These habits will start to creep in sometimes if you're not, especially, you know, it tends to happen for me when you work with boxing coaches, because a boxing coach will say that it's okay to kind of cross over. I'm not saying that this is what's happened, by the way, but it's something to be aware of, is that if you're working with a boxing coach, the boxing footwork is different. So Fabricio here, I feel like he feels like he's out of range, so it's okay to move like that, which is what you would do in boxing. But in MMA or Muay Thai kickboxing, it's you can't really do that. So if you're working with a boxing coach, always try and keep your Muay Thai or kickboxing, MMA, try and keep those footwork fundamentals rather than boxing footwork. No, you see, Floyd Mayweather, when he comes into range, that's when he'll start to use his more clever footwork. But then he'll step out a little bit and he'll cross over his feet and stuff. You know, all boxers will do it. Floyd is just an example. But yeah, if you're in range for striking in MMA or Muay Thai or whatever, you don't have that same freedom. I mean, Fabrizio didn't really get too badly punished from it, but it's not a good look for the judges. And it's something that can lead to other stuff, you know, from that position, from John could have shot for a takedown or whatever. And it would have been much easier to get a takedown when Fabrizio's kind of off balance like that. Yeah, I mean, John isn't going to land. I mean, John isn't going to land anything like a low kick like that unless it's set up first. You know, you don't really see any feints from him. Um, doesn't even try and lead him with his feet or anything like that. I mean, Fabrizio has switched stance. I wonder if he's hurt his knee a little bit or something. But I don't know. Fabrizio's a very capable striker in both stances. See, this is something that happens when you let someone get momentum. So sometimes you'll step back a little bit and then they can push forward, but then they can keep pushing forward, and it's very difficult to get your feet back underneath you. Again, let's have a look. Was it low? I don't think that one was low, to be honest. I think that was on the waistband. Yeah, I don't think that was low. Not from this angle anyway. It looked like it was on the waistband. I mean, if you give him the chance to be fouled like that, then, you know, he's going to take it. He's. Let's see. It was on the waistband, I think. Like fishing. Okay, you're not allowed to knee there, but I don't think that would have done the low blow damage that John Lineker would like you to believe. It'd be a terrible shame for Fabricio to, you know, have to go through what happened from the first fight again. No, I think Fabricio was clearly ahead in that first fight. And yeah, just gave John a way of getting out of that fight, in my opinion. I mean, this is Fabricio's some of his best work. You know, he's just stinging him with a punch and getting back out of range. You know, he really doesn't need to do a lot to win the fight now. Just avoid getting taken down and pepper him with these shots. And he was nice, effective. Landed a kick on the same spot after too. You know, you can kind of see John's energy dwindle from those shots. I'd like to see, you know, Fabricio maybe even try and land a left hook to the body. Yeah, John looking very tired now. Mm. Yeah, you know, I'm sure that in John's head now, this fight feels like it's gone 100 miles an hour. It's what happens while you're fighting. It's just like, oh, when will it end? Um, you know, it looks like he's just surviving now, really, doesn't he? You know, he's not really doing much back. No, I'm pretty confident that Fabricio could have got him out of there, you know, in the last round. Um, you know, John looking a lot less dangerous in this round, and you know, yeah, I think it's all adding up. Yeah, John's just unable to get in range with those shots the way that he wants to. Um, you know, he's just not really setting anything up, and you know, it must be frustrating for John because he knows what he wants to do. It's just that he can't get there. Um, he just needs to be smarter with what he's doing. You know, he could have definitely, you know, made better use of his low kicks and you know, his feints. Just setting things up properly would have made a huge difference. Even at this level, like, you know, John, oh, it's over. John's not coming back out. Well, there you go. Congratulations, Fabricio. Good to see some respect from, you know, these two. You know, yeah, I think John, you know, probably didn't come in with the right game plan to deal with this, and you know, he's how many fights in? So 35 and 10 losses. So he's had 45 fights, including this one. Maybe more, you know, with draws and whatever. But you know, still not coming in with the right game plan, and you know, even shows that, like, even at this level, if your fundamentals aren't all there, and you know, you're gonna come unstuck against the wrong type of guy. He just needed some feints. He needed to be able to set up his work properly, and he couldn't get there. That's not to take away from Fabricio. All Fabricio's excellent. You know, I don't think Fabricio was ever in danger in this fight. Other than maybe in the like when John attempted takedowns, maybe, but Fabricio did well to get out of them. Fabricio's gonna have a bright future. Excellent striker, and you know, has proved that he can go with some of the best in MMA too. You know, John Lineker's been in with TJ Dillashaw, and you know, like if you look on his wiki, you'll see his fight record's like really good. He's been in there with some top guys. Corey Sandhagen, I think, was one of the last top guys that he fought from the UFC. You know, he's excellent, but yeah, a good result for Fabricio, and well deserved. I think his corner made the right decision by not letting him back out there. Good for him. Yeah, that's a corner that care, that don't send you back out to get another round of beating. Okay, well, if that's that. If there's any fights that you want me to react to, or maybe even your own fights or training videos, just put them in the comments, and I'll have a look. My socials are in the description as well. Yeah, so feel free to send me a message anywhere that you want, and you know, I'll reply to everybody. I'll try and reply to every comment too. If you enjoyed this, then please consider subscribing. It'll help me out a great deal. Alright, I'll speak to you soon, guys.